that again. Good morning, everyone. There we go. How is everyone this morning? Beautiful. Welcome to Unity of Tucson and our beautiful Sunday celebration. We're uplifted this morning. I'm Rev.Jonathan Zenz, the senior minister here, and it is such a joy to welcome you to our beautiful, beautiful spiritual family. I want to offer this, our vision here. We envision a place of peace, beauty, and power where spiritual principles are taught and practiced within an ever-growing and dynamic congregation. If you're watching us online, you're going to see some beautiful faces of the members of our congregation show up on your screen. If you're in the room, I invite you to, if you are comfortable, if you'd like to stand up and dance as Linda leads us through our opening song, and enjoy this dynamic congregation.
Life is gonna change when inside we change and take the journey to the heart. You are the answer, you're the solution. Let's not wait another minute to start. We are one in the spirit. We are one in the world. We are one in the spirit. Everybody, every soul, and everywhere we turn, involve yourself in. It's time to begin for the journey of the soul. Many small steps and millions of reasons. Revolution of the heart to unfold. We are one in the spirit. We are one in the world. We are one in the spirit. Everybody, every soul, and everywhere we turn. Way away. Shine your light, collective spirit here as one. Tear down illusion, be one with truth. Don't give up, we just begun. We are one in the spirit. We are one in the world. We are one in the spirit. Everybody, every soul, and everywhere we turn. Away, 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 away.
Yes, indeed. Once again, good morning, and welcome to a beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. We are a spiritual community here at Unity of Tucson. We are teaching practical tools for a better life. That's what we are here to do. We are here to teach. We are here to understand. We are here to know. And it is such a joy that you have joined us here this morning. It feels really present to me, doesn't it? Yes. It is my belief that we can purposefully activate our own spiritual evolution, and that is the whole point and purpose of engaging practical spiritual tools in our life, is to push forward, to allow that spiritual evolution to be directed in a way that we would like to experience life. And so that's the benefit to me of engaging this thing called spiritual practice. As I say on my midday mindful moment live on Facebook every Tuesday through Friday now, the engagement of practical spiritual tools on a consistent and regular basis just makes life better. So let's really embrace that. I invite you all to share with me the words of our mission statement here at Unity of Tucson. Within the principles of unity, we are a ministry of love, inspiration, learning, wholeness, acceptance, and joy that empowers all people to embrace their divine nature. And your nature is divine. There are principles, there's a relationship to these principles that I carry with me in my heart at all times. And you will understand if you've been here before that I've summed it up basically into 3 short phrases, and they are these. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. Simple, not always easy. Simple though. I believe our work is to awaken to our magnificence. If you are joining us online for the first time today, I would love for you to let us know that you have joined us. You can go to unitytucson.com/connect and fill out a card there, fill out some information there, and just let us know that you're present here with us. If you are here in the room, I would like to remind you of this. And I think all of us have a message for those who are new in the room. In fact, all right, I'm going to change it up a little bit. If you are new in the room and you would like to identify yourself by standing up, we have a couple things. First of all, we have a gift for you, and we also have a message for you. Is there anyone who would like to let themselves be known? Good morning. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So if you are new, good morning. Let us let these beautiful, brilliant souls know what we know about them. On the count of 3, everyone. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. You are absolutely magnificent, and I am so grateful that you've decided to spend your Sunday morning here with us. If you're online and you're new, I'm sorry that we can't give you the physical gift, but I would love to let everyone who's online share with you their gifts of gratitude. And reach out, say hello. Let's let everyone know their magnificence in our own unique, individualized way. And so let us all speak the words for ourselves, exclaiming for ourselves, I am magnificent, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I am magnificent. How does that feel? Yeah. Doesn't that feel good? We're going to take some time to allow ourselves to become centered, have a little bit of a quieting time. And so I'm going to invite you to simply relax right where you are. Just simply allow this moment to wash over you. Let yourself release anything that has preceded this moment. Release anything that you anticipate is to unfold, and just let yourself be in this here and now time, this here and now space. If it is safe and comfortable for you to close your eyes, or let them fall to a soft, unfocused gaze, you're welcome to do so. Just allowing ourselves to turn the attention to the inner life. Recognizing, as we teach here, that the activity of the inner life is what flows forth and becomes the activity of our outer expression. And so without judgment, just checking in this moment to see what's happening in the inner life. What's happening in that space of thinking? What is happening in that space of feeling? Just being aware and noticing. Just noticing. In this noticing state of mind, in this noticing state of heart, going to share this month's affirmation. Just allow yourself to take it in. The affirmation this month is this: the whole of me is the light and the life of divine magnificence. Allow yourself to hear these words in your own voice within. The whole of me is the light and the life of divine magnificence. Let's sit with that for just a few moments. The whole of me is the light and the life of divine magnificence.
Rolling river God, little stones are smooth, only once the water passes through. Now I am a stone, rough and grainy still, trying to reconcile this river's chill. But when I close my eyes and feel you rushing by, I know that time brings change, and change takes time. And when the sunset comes, my prayer will be just one, that you might pick me up and notice that I am just a little smoother in your hand. Sometimes raging wild, sometimes swollen high. Never have I known this river dry. The deepest part of you is where I long to stay and feel the sharpest edges washed away. But when I close my eyes and feel you rushing by, I know that time brings change, that you might pick me up and notice that I am just a little smoother in your hand, rolling river god. Little stones are smooth only once the water passes through.
Thank you. I'm going to invite Lynn to join me. Good morning.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good seeing you too.
All right. Do you see the resemblance? This is my mother. She is here this week to help with our ceremony that we do every week, this ritual called Lighting the Flames of Faith. This ritual has been introduced here as a way of understanding the deep connection that exists with all faith traditions, all religious paths, all spiritual ideologies, and understanding that each and every one of them is rooted in love and as love, that is at the core of all of them. And so for each candle that we light here, that is the understanding. And so we light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all those who may be unaware of the power and the presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we can hold for them. And we light this candle also for all the unnamed faith traditions in this ceremony. The final candle is our healing candle, which represents the healing of any circumstance in which the revelation of God, the revelation of the divine creative energy, that healing energy, is to be uncovered. For that is the true nature of healing, the revelation and the uncovering of God at the core of all circumstance, at the core of all experiences. And so this is your candle for whatever is in your mind and in your heart that requires the light. The candle here to your left is our peace candle, which we keep consistently illuminated in this understanding, that it represents the consistent illumination of peace in our own hearts. And as we allow that light of peace to inform our actions, our intentions, our words, what we find is we live in a more peaceful experience of this thing called life, a more peaceful world. Let's honor this candle by speaking together the prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established and peace begins to reign in the world. Hello. Hello. Come join me. It seems so strange to be within 6 feet of people now, doesn't it?
Yes,
a little bit.
It does.
Especially without a mask.
Yes.
But I'm enjoying that we're recreating our normal now.
Yes.
Yes. So last week I gave some homework. If you're new here, I give homework every week. Just want to give you a fair warning.
Yeah. It's not always easy either.
Well, let's see. How did you do with the homework? Which I will remind you of what the homework was last week. The homework was this: actively seek and contemplate the balance of light and seeming darkness in your life. To actually observe your life throughout the week and actively seek and contemplate the balance of light and seeming darkness in your life. The balance of doing and the balance of being is also something to look at. I did invite you to journal about what you did. Not everybody, I'm sure, brought in their journals. It's fine. And ask yourself perhaps this question: is there harmony in it all? So my question to you is, what came up for you this week?
One, I don't journal.
You don't journal? That's fine.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Every spiritual practice is an individualized experience,
Exactly,
and if you don't journal, that's okay.
So I found there's areas of my life that are very dark at times, but I control whether they really influence me and creep into the light. And that was the biggest thing I learned. It's I'm looking at triggers that can cause me not to be harmonious.
Yeah.
And that was a huge part of it, being able to reflect on that.
That's beautiful. So you mentioned triggers. Anyone else have triggers? I can raise my hand. I have triggers. Yeah. I always ask myself the question when a trigger shows up for me: who installed the trigger? Mm-hmm. It's really a good question to ask yourself. Who installed that trigger?
Exactly. And it's a matter of, people you're around or whatever situation you're in, whether you find it being a negative trigger or a positive trigger.
Yes. And there are both,
And they can be both.
Yeah, because we think about triggers as, oftentimes I think we think about them as being negative.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Not always.
But there are positive triggers too. There are things that launch us into greater expressions of ourselves. Those can be considered triggers as well. So why don't we celebrate those?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yes.
Anytime.
All righty, anytime. Oh, hi, Tim.
Has to be the center of my life. Right?
Yes. My nephew. Yes. Thank you. There's no battery charge on this anymore. I just looked at it, I'm like, oh, the light's off. So while we're waiting for a microphone to be replaced, I'm going to tell you a little story about the song I'm about to sing. I told this story to the band this morning. So I sang this song at the 2015 Toronto Canadian New Thought Convention, which I was the host of back in 2015. And at the end of the conference, it's a national conference that happens every year. Oh, it's right there. Sorry. At the end of the conference that happens every year is the hosting church or the hosting spiritual center does their service to everyone who has arrived for this conference. And I did the service, and I sang this song that I'm about to sing as part of the service. Thank you. Well, there were 3 speakers lined up that day, and there was a speaker who spoke before this song. Thank you. That's my father, by the way. It's a family affair. So there was a speaker who spoke before the song I'm about to sing, and there's a point you're going to hear in this song where there's a big old, what they call a cesura, right? A big old stop in the song, and I was in it, and I was like, and I'm singing, and I've got my hand up, right? And we go to this part, and I stop in the song, and the person who was the first speaker right in that break stands up and says, I'm so sorry, I have to go officiate a memorial service, so I'm going to say goodbye to all of you right now. Like, the song's not over. It was going through my head, and I'm sitting there thinking, what do I do? And I decided, don't call attention to it, just finish the song, which is what I did. Some of you will recognize this song.
I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever been, everything I've lost or won, and everything I've ever seen has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. If you'd like to sing along, we'll sing Get Ready. Get ready, my soul, my soul. I'm diving in. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, my soul, my soul. Now just me. Get ready, get ready, my soul. I tell you, that Daniel Namod, he sure knows how to write a good tune. I remember the first time I ever heard that song was at actually my spiritual center in North Hollywood. Gosh, 12 years ago. Well, more than that, actually, maybe 15. Gosh, almost. It was a long time ago. And it was just this moment towards the end of the celebration that day, and he just sat down at the keyboard, and he was the guest musician that day at our center, and he just sang this song. I was like, it just spoke to my heart. Get ready, my soul. There's a story I want to start with today. Some of you may know this story. There was a man named George Danzig, and he was a doctoral student at UC Berkeley back in almost a century ago now. And in 1939, he arrived late to one of his classes, and he gets into class, and he sees on the blackboard 2 equations, and he just looked and jots them down, because he's thinking, oh gosh, I'm late to class, that must be the homework, right? So he takes those home, doesn't think any of it, he doesn't think anything of it. He takes them home, and he solves these equations, and he brings them in, and he turns them in to the professor, and the professor is gobsmacked, because he has solved these equations. But what the professor had done, unbeknownst to George Danzig, is he had put these equations on the blackboard as examples of equations which had up until then been unsolvable. I love it. That's actually kind of the seed. You ever see the movie Good Will Hunting? It was actually a seed for that story. And when I think about that story, I ask myself, and I'm going to ask you this question in relationship to that story, and just thinking for yourself for just a moment, what would you be able to do if you didn't know it was impossible? What problems might you solve if you didn't know that the problem was unsolvable? I think about that question because how much have we taken on into our lives that we have deemed impossible or unsolvable? And we have decided that that is going to be the expression and experience of our lives now. What would you do if you didn't have that knowledge? The greater question, perhaps, is this: who or what taught us to believe that on some level we are less than, that we are unable to experience and solve the unsolvable, to experience and make possible the impossible? Who taught us that? What taught us that? And then for me, the natural follow-up question is, irrespective of who or what taught us that, what am I willing to do about it right now? What am I willing to let go of that I thought was impossible or unsolvable in my life? What can I do? Let it go. This is the final Sunday of the month, a month where the theme has been light. And I've talked a lot about different aspects of the way light shows up and how we can be enlightened. And last week I talked about the other side of light, which we may look at as darkness. But it's just polarity, you know, there's actually no such thing as light and darkness. There is only that which is who and what we are. So I've been talking all about light this month. There was someone who experienced and expressed as light that has had a profound effect on this entire world, and that is the way shower Jesus. Jesus said some very telling things. And I know I referred to this back on the first Sunday of this month, but I want to read to you from Matthew chapter 5. This is verses 14 through 16. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Now, from a metaphysical standpoint, this idea of giving glory to Father who is in heaven is giving glory to that infinite creative nature that is at the core of each and every one of us. For heaven is a state of mind. And so as we allow ourselves to experience the glory of this thing called light, and express that light profoundly, we become the way showers ourselves to shift and change the world. And this is directly tied to
a passage in John chapter 8, verse 12, where he said, I am the light of the world. He wasn't talking about just himself, clearly, because in the Beatitudes he said, you are the light of the world. He was saying, let us begin to recognize more profoundly the truth of our being, the understanding of who we are deeply, deeply. Let us go deeper, deeper, deeper than we've ever been before. There is a parallel, actually, to this in the Bhagavad Gita. In this, Krishna speaks, out of compassion, I destroy the darkness of their ignorance. From within them, I light the lamp of wisdom and dispel all darkness from their lives. Now, when Krishna speaks and speaks these words of truth, Krishna is saying the I am is the infinite understanding that we are all whole, we are all one. So he's not saying, I am the one who dispels the darkness. No, he's saying we are the infinite I am is the thing that dispels the darkness. Are you willing, this is my question to you, are you willing to accept that today more profoundly than perhaps ever before? Here I go. Deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go. Closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. There is no aspect of your being that is not holy light. And when I say holy, I mean both versions of the word. Holy meaning whole. Your wholeness is light, and holy, the divine nature that is you. There is no aspect of your being that is not holy light. Every cell of your body is holy light. This is the truth of your being. This is your innate nature, which then makes me think about that question earlier. At what point did you forget that? And who might have taught you that that may not be so? Because it's only when we forget that nature, that discord shows up in our lives. That seeming sense of separation from the wholeness, that seeming sense of separation from the holy is the very thing that allows us to move into the spaces of challenge in life. When we remember who we are, remember that? Love only, forgive everything. Remember who you are. When we remember who we are, we overcome all things that seem impossible, all things that seem unsolvable. So I've been reading this book, and I know I've been mentioning this book, I think every week, almost, called The Quantum Revelation by Paul Levy. And he wrote this beautiful thing that felt very prescient for me today as I was considering putting this together. He wrote this: the truth of our situation, simply put, is that we are geniuses with amnesia. We are geniuses with amnesia. We have literally forgotten who we are, and in doing so have disconnected from our vast creative powers for consciously shaping and co-creating reality. In other words, we've forgotten who we are, and so our work becomes remembering who we are. Our only path, the only path I'm really at the core ever talking about on every single Sunday that I'm up here, is the path to consciously reveal our inherent light. As we remember, and the thing is, those three things, love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. If you actually start with the third thing, the other two things actually come naturally. If you remember who you are, you cannot help but love only. You cannot help but forgive everything. Remember who you are, for me, is the most important aspect of our teaching. Remembering who we are is knowing that there is absolutely no separation. There is only God, this greatness on demand. And that is our identity. You know, we used to talk a lot about being one with God. We used to talk a lot about being one, here's the thing. If we are going to claim this as our core identity, we can no longer say we are one with or we are one as even. We are that very power and that very presence at the level of our expression and understanding of it. And so why not broaden our expression? Why not broaden our understanding of it so that we live more magnificently from the core of that as our light? Our only path is to consistently and constantly reveal our inherent light. And it's a paradox. Because if we didn't know our limitations, like George Danzig solving those problems, if we didn't know what we perceive to be limitations, we would just shine our light, wouldn't we? Paul Levy also wrote this: realizing that we have been unconsciously complicit in dreaming a self-limiting dream is the first step in taking our power back. The first step in taking our power back is realizing that we have been unconsciously complicit in dreaming a self-limiting dream. The only reason limitations show up in our experience is because we have adopted them and accepted them in our minds and in our hearts. We are so much more. Here I go. Deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. When we take our power back, when we shine our light, and I'm going to say we must shine our light without apology. When we shine our light without apology, we become beacons to others to do the same thing. Again, it's like the peace candle, which I say every week. It is reflective of that inherent peace that resides in our heart that can never be extinguished. And as we align ourselves with that holy truth, we live the life of peaceful intention, the life of peaceful action. So there are two parts to this. First of all, we must detach from thinking that we are less than. Let it go. Let it go. That's number one. Number two is this very thing I'm talking about, shining our light and becoming an ambassador of vision. Today's message title is Ambassadors of Vision. Are you an ambassador of vision? Are you? Just check in with yourself. What does that mean to be an ambassador of vision? What it means to me is to say that I am willing, and I am stepping into the willingness at all times to let go of my perceived limitations and shine my light. Levy also wrote this: where we place our attention nourishes or starves our minds. Where we place our attention nourishes or starves our minds. So it's a call to each and every one of us to say, where am I placing my attention? Am I placing my attention on the seeming brokenness and upholding the idea that it must continue to remain broken? Or am I placing my attention on the light and recognizing that in the seeming brokenness, that it is the light that heals? We can starve our minds so easily and let it limit our experience of life. Detaching is knowing we are not limited. Now, here's the thing about detachment, because some people think, I'm going to detach. Maybe that means I need to become a monk and go up to the hill and sit on the hill, and I am now detached. Detachment doesn't mean you don't own anything. It means nothing owns you. That's what detachment means. Detachment is releasing the limitations of circumstance so that our light can no longer be blocked. This opens up within us a path to be an ambassador, to be a beacon, not in a coercive way. I'm not out there, I'm like, no, I'm not going to go. Now, I'm a light. So should you be, right? Not being coercive in any way, but in a way that becomes so appealing, we become so appealing that others are inspired to shine their own inner light themselves. Being an ambassador of this vision is important. Now, we are not proselytizers. We do not proselytize within this philosophy. It's not part of our path. Here's the thing I always like to say. You're not going to see me going down to 4th Avenue and being like, carrying a Bible saying, "You are not a sinner. You are love and nothing else. You are the light." You're never going to see me doing that. But if you ask me, I will shine my light thoroughly when I'm walking down 4th Avenue, and people may go, "Ooh, look at that light," right? And then they may inquire, "You seem so happy all the time." Yeah, because I know who I am. We are all ambassadors of vision. Ambassadorship in this path is finding and celebrating the ways in which we are all, each and every one of us, connected to all that is, to all creation, to every single person we encounter, whether we like them or not. That's a tough one, isn't it? Right? And here's the thing about that. We don't have to like everybody. What? But we do have to love everybody. I want to talk about an ambassador of vision, and I'm looking at my countdown clock. I'm like, this may be a slightly longer talk. Just a little bit. I want to talk about an ambassador of vision, a guy named Daryl Davis. Daryl Davis was an accomplished musician. Do you know who Daryl Davis was? No, and here's the thing. Nobody knows him from his music. But this is somebody who played with Chuck Berry, he played with B.B. King, Jerry Lee Lewis, and many, many, many others. He actually is still, he is still on this plane of action. His fame came to him in another way. This is a man who befriended a guy named Roger Kelly. Roger Kelly was a grand wizard in the Ku Klux Klan. Now, Daryl Davis was a black man. They developed a friendship over the course of many years. They broke bread at each other's tables. They welcomed each other into their homes. Daryl Davis even didn't participate. He attended. I shouldn't say he participated. He attended KKK rallies as a guest of Roger Kelly. Here's what was important. Through their association and the friendship that they developed, Davis cultivated an atmosphere of listening. Not trying to say, "You are wrong," but listening. There was no, "I hate him because he hates me." There was none of that. Davis listened. He listened. And you know what ended up happening? Eventually, Roger Kelly listened. What they discovered in listening are the things that they had in common. And their perceived differences no longer mattered. Roger Kelly, through this experience, ended up denouncing the KKK, gave his robe and hood to Daryl Davis. Daryl Davis's work has led to more than 200 Klan members denouncing the KKK and giving their robe and hood to him. This is someone who, in remembering who he is, being love only, forgiving everything, and actively listening, developed a way to be an ambassador of a vision of a world that works for everyone. Daryl Davis changed the world, not through compulsion, but through compassion. Love conquers hate every single time. Every single time. So let us all begin to look within our own hearts and ask ourselves, who do I choose to be moment by moment? Do I choose to be an ambassador of vision? And what does that mean? What does that show? How does that show up for me? Am I choosing to shine my light in a compassionate way that allows me to be present with things that are challenging, to be able to be someone who listens, and in that listening, develop a deeper understanding of the things that make us connected, those things that are interconnected, and recognizing the interconnectedness of the whole. In this, we can all start blessing and stop stressing. We can work to create a new normal. A new normal. Because here's the thing, there is no normal. There is no normal. There's only the thing that we have normalized in this moment. That's it. But we can consistently unfold, creating a new normal. We can never go back to before. We can only create what will be. So let go of those things, those limitations, those ideas that perhaps are no longer serving you, and welcome yourself as an ambassador of vision, to allow yourself to be the infinite light, to teach and pray and be the light that Jesus said we all are. In what way will you be an ambassador of vision? Peace and blessings to you. You are magnificent. Now comes time for the homework. And I want to acknowledge it was not William who so last week I talked about someone saying that they had gone into a center and they met somebody who was there, and that person was leaving and said, I can't stay here because they want you to work on yourself, right? That was actually Diane who told me that. Diane Christie, one of our board members. Sorry, I wanted to give credit where credit was due, so thank you for that. Here's the homework. Spend time looking at your life. That's kind of always the homework, right? Spend time looking at your life and check in to see if anything seems off kilter. And if anything seems off kilter, number one, let yourself off the hook for those things. Let yourself off the hook. Because here's the thing, it's all related to past stuff. You are living in this present moment. As you let yourself off the hook, something new opens up to be expressed. And reframe your mind, your heart, to a new acceptance. And what I want you to do in this observation this week is, you don't have to do it in a journal, but I am going to encourage you to get out a piece of paper. Write out a vision statement for your life. Write out a vision statement for your life. A vision statement provides inspiration for direction. Write out a vision statement for your life and then post it somewhere where you can see it and ask yourself the question, am I living this every single day? Find some language that sparks something for you in that as well. That's the homework. I'm going to invite you to relax right where you are. Check in with any aspect of what has sparked for you today as we find our way to a relaxed completion of the message.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you Right here in this moment, I live in the assured awareness of the One, the whole and the holy, being all there is. I am rooted in this magnificence and recognize that it is the core identity of each and every one of us. There is God and nothing else. There is this magnificent creative power and nothing else. There is this consistently unfolding love and nothing else. It is letting itself be known through each and every one of us as each and every one of us, for we are of this thing, this light. We are celestial, luminous bodies. That is our core beingness. Understanding this and accepting this and adopting this as the frame of reference for all that is, I know that the word I speak right now is a word that is backed by the infinite creative power of divinity. And so I speak my word on behalf of each and every one of us, knowing that we are ambassadors of vision. We are ambassadors of light. We are those who claim and live the understanding that we know who we are. We are in that constant state of remembering our identity. In every experience of our life, in every facet and aspect of our beingness, as we move from this place and this time here today into the experience of the world, I know that it is rooted in that understanding of our wholeness, of our unity. And it is with gratitude that I acknowledge this good, gratitude for this experience here today, gratitude for the wisdom that flows by means of each and every one of us, gratitude for the insight and the inspiration. And so it is in gratitude that I relax, release, trust, and allow this truth spoken to be activated. I know it is so, and I let it be so. And so it is. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Thank you. I would like to invite the secretary of our board of directors to join me here on stage, Roberta Latham. Hello, Roberta. She's going to make her way up here to talk to you for just a few moments. May I offer you a hand?
Thank you. Gosh, we touched hands.
I know.
Hi, everybody. This is great. Obviously, you probably know what I'm up here to talk about, but I'd like to tell you a funny story first about Memorial Day, which is coming up. Out of the mouths of babes, my then 8-year-old granddaughter, who I was visiting, asked me what Memorial Day was about. So I very straight-laced explained what it was about, that we're honoring people who've passed away. And having been born in Tucson and remembering certain things, she piped up with, "Oh, do they come out and play with you like on the Day of the Dead?" Some things you never forget.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought you might enjoy that. All right, so I want to talk to you about investing. Okay, as a financial professional, I talk to people about that all the time. But this is a little different. When we're contributing to our spiritual center, otherwise known as our church, what is the return on that investment? What are we getting for it? I really think that's something important to think about. Some things are obvious. We have this beautiful space. We have the land around it. We have the wonderful staff that takes care of all these things, the wonderful musicians. All of that, guess what? It costs money. So that's the obvious, the physical, and the intentional. But what else are we getting? I'm thinking about Jonathan's messages. We're getting practical tools for spiritual living, for a better life. What does that mean? That's our personal rate of return. We're getting inspiration. We're getting healing. We're getting teaching. We're getting community. And if we don't support that, we're not going to get it. That's just the long and short of it. If we invest, what's the rate of return? What's our return on investment? I think that's an important principle. So,
That's great.
Thank
you.
So we invite you to participate. You can go online and look at things. I'm going to forget some of this.
That's okay.
I'm going to have to fill it in.
I'll help you out.
Lots of different ways to give. We don't pass baskets yet. I don't know.
Not yet. Soon.
If we'll ever go back to that. But there's a basket at the back if you'd like to leave a donation, a contribution, an investment, and then keep track of what you're getting for it.
Yes. You can also, if you're watching online, you can send in a check through any delivery service. I always say the USPS or any delivery service that you choose. You can also call the office during our regular office hours, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and you can use a debit or credit card over the phone. If you would like to use a debit or credit card here, if you're in person, you can actually do that in the bookstore, and that all gets credited to your account as well. There's also a way that you can do it by texting the word Unity Tucson to 73256. You can use your smartphone to do that. And it's a great way to be able to support our community, and I'm deeply grateful for the ways that you do support our community. Let us say together the divine affirmation for giving this month. It is this. Here we go. I give this gift with love because I love to give. Yes. Thank you so much, Roberta.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. There is a virtual gathering today. If you'd like to join in some spiritual and some social time, some community online through Zoom, there is a link on our homepage. You can do that it starts at 11:30 a.m. A couple of things that are happening that are coming up to the center. Thank you, Darwin. There are a couple of things that are happening here at the center. On Wednesdays, beginning June 9th, we are going to be offering yoga. Lynn is going to be leading a yoga experience with us. It is $15 per class, or you can get 4 classes for $50. If you would please go onto our website, though, and register just so that we know that you're coming. That would help us out. Also, Dr. Christina Gilman is offering a stress management workshop, 3 consecutive Thursday mornings, June 10th, 17th, and 24th at 10 a.m. That is here at Unity as well. The information on all of that and on the yoga is on our website, so please do check that out. I want to say, if within the last year, since basically we shut everything down, if within the last year you became a member, an official member of Unity of Tucson, you should have received an email from me this week to talk about celebrating your membership here. Now, I'm saying this because if you think that you became a member this year and you did not receive that email, I am inviting you to please reach out to me at Rev.Jonathan at unitytucson.com. We're going to do a celebration of all new members later on in the month of June, and I want to make sure that everyone who became a member is honored, and so I don't want to forget anybody. So if you did not receive an email from me this week and you officially became a member, please let me know. This also goes for everyone who is online, if you're watching online. So I just wanted to make sure that that information is out there, and I'll keep reminding you as we go along. Small group leader training is still in the planning stages. We are still looking for more hosts. If you have signed up, I said last week to look for an email coming from me, and I didn't send that email out. So I'm going to do it this week. I apologize for not sending it out. But we are still looking for more hosts to lead small groups within our larger spiritual family. Also, if you are interested in becoming a prayer chaplain, you can reach out to me. I will go back to that, Rev.Jonathan at unitytucson.com, and I will make sure that you get put in touch with Laura Cass, who leads our prayer chaplain program. We are also always looking for volunteers to help out in the office. If you have time during the week and can give of your talent, we would love to share that time with you. Also, you'll see we have a growing magnificence in stuffed animals. We collect every year between Mother's Day and the end of July in a program called Bears in the Chairs. As we collect these, they are intended to go to children who are experiencing a shift from a home dynamic into foster care. And so we give these beautiful stuffed animals to an organization called Aviva. It's part of the social work that we do here. The other thing about this is if you would like to sew some tote bags, we have still kits. They're in the books. I'm like, Carol was here, Carol who puts together these kits. There are kits for sewing tote bags in the bookstore, which you can pick up. And the stuffed animal goes into the tote bag, and it's a great way to support youth who are being moved into foster care. So we encourage you to participate in this. We will be collecting through the end of July. I want to say thank you to our magnificent technical team, Wally and Don and Carrymon helping out on camera today. Thank you so much. I want to encourage you to give your gratitude to Robbie Jean Chandler, whose show, this is the last day of her show in our gallery in the lobby. Offer your gratitude for her, and I offer my gratitude to you, Robbie Jean, as well. Thank you so much for sharing your talent. I want to say thank you to Roberta for sharing today. I want to say thank you to Lynn, and I want to say thank you to my nephew Tim, because I know he's going to say, well, what about me? Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to this magnificent team of musicians. And I want to say thank you to every single one of you. You are magnificent lights, and I'm grateful that you shine your light in this magnificent world. And everyone who's watching online, thank you for being here, making your presence known, not just here at Unity, but in life. As we complete our time here today, let us share together the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am that light. The love of God enfolds me. I am that love. The power of God protects me. I am that power. The presence of God watches over me. I am that presence. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever God is, I am. And so it is. Amen. If you'd like to stand and move your body on our final song, please do so. Now there is peace on earth, for it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, this is my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Thank you, God, for peace on earth, for it has begun with me. Make it a magnificent week, everyone.